Hi, thank you for joining in today. This is Robert Rajamani and welcome to the Father's Will channel. Romans 6:10 and 11 says, when Jesus died, he died to break the power of sin. But now he lives. He lives for the glory of God in union with God. So are you dead to the power of sin and live to God through Jesus Christ. So what it says is, when Jesus died in his flesh on the cross, he died to sin. He broke the power of sin. So sin no longer has any power on Jesus. And now Jesus is in union with the Father and he lives for the glory of God. So in the same way, when we accepted Christ and when we were baptized in him, we died with him on the cross and we are resurrected with him. And now today our life is in union with Christ and we no longer live for sin, or sin no longer has any dominion over us. And we are united in Christ and we live for his glory. So the truth is, sin has no power over us. So anytime in our walk with God, when we try to fight against sin, when we try to have victory over sin by fighting against sin and actively resisting it and having all our focus on sin and how to run away from sin, and when we continuously focus on sin, we'll not be able to be delivered from sin, because the more you focus on it, the more it is going to entangle you. The way you have victory over darkness is not by fighting it or pushing it away from you, but you have victory over darkness by focusing on the light and going towards the light. And as you walk towards the light, that light dispels the darkness without any effort. So in the same way, you don't win over sin by fighting and resisting and wrestling with sin, but you win over it by walking towards the truth of what Christ has done on the cross. He has broken the power of sin over our life. We who are united in Christ, the power of sin is broken. Sin does not have any power on Christ. Similarly, the sin does not have any power on us. So when we identify with this truth, and when we cling on to this truth, and when we hold on to it, sin will lose its grip on us. So that is how you win over sin. Not by fighting it, not by focusing all our attention on sin and how to stay away from it, but you just put your focus on what Christ has done and what he has accomplished on the cross, and by that truth, you are free from sin. Jesus said, you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. So hold on to the truth of who you are in Christ. You are no longer under the bondage of sin. Sin has no power over you. Now, when dealing with sin, we usually focus on certain sins and we think those are the main sins that we should stay away from. And they look negative and they look harmful. Sin like fornication and adultery and robbery and murder. So these looks very harmful sins and negative sins. So we actively want to go away from those sins. But there are other sins which we casually flirt around with. We don't take them very seriously. We think it is fine. It is part of life. The sin of not walking in faith. The sin of not being hopeful in what Christ has done. The sin of not believing in the promises of God. The sin of worrying. The sin of being stressed, of being anxious. These are equally harmful sins which we need to stay away from. Every form of sin, whether it looks bad or not so bad, every form of sin, it originates in our flesh. And it has control over us only in the realm of the flesh. It has no control on us in our spirit. So it originates in the flesh and it tries to keep us entangled in the flesh. But the truth is, Jesus died in the flesh. He died on the cross in his body once and he destroyed the power of sin. And sin does not have any power over him. And sin does not have any power over us. So we are delivered from that sin, from the power of sin. Every person who has entered this earth under Adam was under the grip of sin, but we are delivered from it. We cannot deliver ourselves from sin, but someone had to come and break the power of sin, and that's what Jesus did. So the sin has no grip on you. It has no dominion over you. You are not under the kingdom of sin. You are under the kingdom of Christ and His grace and His righteousness. You are united with Christ, and you live a resurrected life in Him even now in this body. So live in that hope and live in that faith and identify yourself with that truth and cling on to that truth. You have victory in Him. You are resurrected in Him. You are ruling with Him even now. And sin has no dominion over you. And that will completely deliver you from sin and help you to walk in the Spirit and rule with Christ in this earth, in this body. Thank you for watching. If you are blessed by this word, like and share this video, and also subscribe to our channel. Be blessed until next time. Thank you.